If you're an artist, you still need a plan. So that is why since 2019, I've been purchasing the Artist of Life Workbook from Lavendaire to have planners directed or marketed towards creatives or artists or just like the right-minded individuals. Being able to come back to what you envisioned the year to be and make any corrections or any improvements on like how you want the rest of your year to go. Being more creative with the actual plan. So I like to put like little stickers, design it, and not just be like writing things down. I noticed that my 2022 year, that even though I completed like the essential first part of the workbook, which is basically just like making goals and just like reviewing your 2021 and then what you want your 2022 year to be like I had a really hard time with like the habit tracker, just because I am more creative and more like fluid in my workflow. So like I'm not able to have a systematic way of doing things, and just like that's not how I work best. And when I do try to create the systematic way of working with habits or habit tracker or just keeping track with the month, it just seems that like it becomes more of a chore, and then I just like abandon it completely. Because the issue with planners is so much of our world is orientated towards like, oh, you have to be systematic, oh, you have to be consistent, oh, and consistency in this day and age is like controlling, like being diligent, like it's essentially just like confining you to a schedule, to a habit. And when I do that, I just feel it's constrained, so much constraining that I just abandon the whole thing. I'm trying to work it in a way that gives me fluidity in my scheduling, that I'm actually excited to like update it, or like update it in the sense of like seeing what, like for instance is I used to just do like my mood or like how I felt, and I noticed like most of the months they were like pretty empty, but what I'm doing now is I'm my sleep schedule, my mood, and then something else, because I want to see like if how much I slept equals to like being more productive or having my mood be better, and I'm seeing if there's like a correlation. I see a lot of flip throughs where the workbook is already empty, but I think it is beneficial to see a workbook that's actually complete, because just seeing how someone else completes the planner can help like give you ideas, or just like help to see like how it's actually executed versus just like an empty workbook, which I think is beneficial if you're like a first-time buyer. But I think it's just like always interesting to see how people complete the actual workbook and to see like the months. It is important in the sense of like if you're an artist, you still need a plan. Like you still need to figure out like a strategy throughout the year, otherwise you're just going to be kind of like all over the place. So having this kind of planner has helped me because it gives me fluidity and control. It's not like a regular planner, but I feel like having a planner as an artist is beneficial because it helps you to also see like what your goals were in the beginning and then how the year kind of changed. For me personally, how I would change the Artist of Life Workbook or add things is every year I would add something new. just to keep it interesting. I did purchase a 2023, but I am considering like making my own from what has worked for me and what I would like to see in the future from a planner, in regards to being more orientated towards the artists and creatives, and how they work. Because you could essentially just take like an empty bullet and then just take like the first part, which I was considering doing. I was considering just like buying a like a dotted empty journal, and then creating a, like, basically just like copying what she has for the first part, because for me that's what bringing me back to purchasing the Artist of Life Workbook. The monthlies, I mean, it is fun, but I would also add like adjectives that you can use to describe your months, because that is something that like I struggle with, or I'm like, oh, what do you want your month January to be, or what will January be? It's like, I don't know. Like shitty, I don't know. I'm definitely gonna keep purchasing this because it is fun to see like how I've grown, and it is interesting to see like if you already have purchased the Artist of Life Workbook in the past. I would definitely recommend like looking back and seeing how like things that you were focused on then. I mean, there were some things that I was like, oh, I like to implement that in 2023. So I think when my 2023 Artist of Life Workbook comes in, I think I'm going to look at all of my planners and see what worked for me, what didn't work for me, and how to really just like be more systematic and be more productive in 2023. And I don't think productivity equals like being confined to a schedule, because what I've noticed is like people will be like, oh, are you an artist? This is the perfect to be like productive, or, and there's always like confining. It's like, oh, you need there was one beneficial video I heard, or was talking about how you need to, it's not the habits you create, you have to create a system, because if you don't have a system, then you'll continuously break the habits